When everyone thought one battle after another was going to be crowned as the best film of the year, the unknown story of a ping pong player burst frenetically, in every sense, into the conversation. In this video, we're going to analyze Marty Supreme, the film that could finally earn Timothée Chalamet his long-awaited Oscar. Are you ready for something supreme? We had the chance to be part of the first public audience to witness the world premiere of Marty Supreme. It happened right after the opening weekend in the US of The Machine, directed by Benny Safdie, the other half of the filmmaking duo known to cinephiles as the Safdie brothers. And yes, they're brothers in real life, though their creative paths now seem so distant that there's little hope they'll reunite anytime soon. If there was ever a festival where Marty Supreme was meant to be unveiled before its official release, it had to be the New York Film Festival. Not only because of the close relationship the Safdie brothers have with the festival, Uncut Gems premiered there in a previous edition, but also because the story takes place in 1950s New York, matching that electrifying rhythm and eclectic spirit of the city's cinematic heritage, from Scorsese's contributions to the Safdies' own modern chaos. Although the film tells a story from the past, in theory a biopic about a real athlete, there's nothing static or solemn here. Safdie refuses to tame his filmmaking style for the sake of prestige. And as delirious and demonic as it is, with a vibrant energy closer to the cinema of the 1980s, that very refusal to restrain himself ironically helps Marty Supreme stand out as one of the prestige contenders for Best Picture, and likely other categories. This is the work of a major American auteur, one who truly earns that title through the 2.5 hours of his wild cinematic odyssey. Marty Supreme tells the story of Marty Mauser, Timothée Chalamet, a young table tennis champion, or ping pong player, more colloquially, determined to become the greatest player in a sport that nobody in America cares about. Back then, table tennis was far more popular in countries like Japan, where world tournaments gathered competitors from different nations. The character is loosely inspired by the real-life figure of Marty Reisman, a Lower East Side-born table tennis player, though that detail is more of a footnote than a foundation. And yes, there's plenty of ping pong throughout the film, including a short sequence where Marty plays against a seal. What Safdie builds here is not a standard motivational sports film, nor a depressing one like his brother Benny's latest. And neither is it a traditional rise and fall biopic. In Safdie's hands, and embodied by Chalamet, Marty Mauser becomes the subject of a character study about unrestrained ambition and extreme individualism. It's less a moral tale than a cultural x-ray of a nation that breeds monsters with a voracious hunger, blurring the lines between talent and fraud. Where does genius end and manipulation begin within the same person? Marty can't be a full-time ping pong player because no matter how great his talent is or how successful he becomes in international tournaments, money always remains a problem. Passion alone isn't enough when it doesn't pay the bills. The protagonist works at a shoe store, where he shows a natural gift for selling. "I could sell shoes to an amputee," he jokes at one point. But he's rarely there when he's not playing or scheming new ways to make easy money. Among his many pursuits, he tries to seduce Kay Stone, Gwyneth Paltrow, a once famous movie star now semi-retired, and to convince her wealthy husband, Milton Rockwell, Kevin O'Leary, yes, the one from Shark Tank, to sponsor him. Marty is always juggling several games at once in his personal and professional life, endlessly finding new ways to fund his next trip, his next tournament, his next match, convinced that he must do whatever it takes to become a champion. Of course, he has few scruples or moments of self-reflection to stop him, not even when it comes to Rachel, his childhood friend and now his married lover, whom he's gotten pregnant. Odessa Azayan is a revelation in the role. On the contrary, if Marty ever stopped to think about the consequences of his actions, he probably couldn't stand himself. Just as no one around him can tolerate him for too long, what's worse than an insufferable talent? An insufferable talent who can't even benefit from his own gift. Since the film has been seen by only a few, and will remain unseen by most until December, it would be irresponsible to give away too many spoilers. What I can say is that Marty Supreme is the kind of film that hooks you from its hilarious opening credit sequence, a movie that truly lives up to its title. I can also say, without hesitation, that this is one of the best films of the year, and one of the most exquisitely photographed. Darius Khondji, cinematographer of Say 7 and Amour and the recent Eddington and Mickey 17, delivers another visual masterpiece. You can sense it immediately. Every sequence bursts with color and rhythm, Every narrative detour or visual joke contributes to the film's larger design. One early scene, for instance, involves a beehive and a flashback to the Holocaust, and somehow it works perfectly. Proving this is an unpredictable and exhilarating film, I can also add that it contains what is very likely the most powerful and iconic male performance of 2025. We've never seen Chalamet play such a despicable character, channeling all his charm and charisma into a black hole of ambition and self-centeredness. It might very well be the defining performance of his career, the one that cements him as a true movie star. Marty Supreme is a repulsive American epic that looks suspiciously at the very individualism most biopics celebrate, filtered through the madness of a deranged sports movie. While it's not exactly a deconstruction of those genres, it deliberately avoids any form of inspirational storytelling. It balances humor and tension with mastery, pushing beyond what we loved in the Safdie's previous work, this time with the lavish production design and high budget that A24 entrusted to Josh Safdie, as risky a gamble as the one his main character keeps making. This is a film full of grit and venom, one that leaves you stunned minute by minute, offering no victory for your heart to cheer for. Though the battle of wills between Marty and Rockwell makes one thing clear. If Chalamet plays a loathsome character, O'Leary embodies an even worse bastard. This is the journey of a winner who wins only because he refuses to admit he's lost. You're a winner as long as you keep claiming your victories, whether or not they can be verified, until you finally discover the real, intangible prize. Almost too late for your soul. Will this be the movie that finally earns Timothée Chalamet his Oscar? We'll find out soon enough. But one thing's for sure, Marty Supreme has already secured its place among the most talked about films of 2025. Tell me in the comments what you think. Would you like to see it? Do you think Chalamet deserves that Oscar? If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow us for more deep dives into the world of cinema. See you in the next one.